speaking about the team on the ground. Not too far from Balitetani is our colleague Xoli Mngambi, who also is watching the situation as it unfolds both in and outside the commission itself. And Xoli, part of what needs to be probed today is the level of parliamentary oversight, or the lack thereof, that took place while Cyril Ramaphosa was the deputy president of the ANC.
Absolutely spot on, Ayanda. In fact, the role of the deputy president in government is that of the leader of government business. And not so long ago, we heard the national speaker of Parliament, Thandi Modise, who appeared here at the commission talking about the kinds of conversations that she would have had with the leader of government business at the time. And of course, her role at that time was that of the National Council of Provinces, because this person has to interact with both the National Assembly Speaker but also the NCOP. And just the admission from Thandi Modise that really the National Assembly only woke up to its role and what it needs to do after that all-important court case and the outcome that was delivered by the Constitutional Court on the Ngalwa matter and the issues around the Chapter 9 institutions and how important that they are and that they cannot simply be dismissed. But Ayanda, let's not waste any time because we are sitting with the person who actually used to be in the corridors of the National Assembly in his capacity as chairperson of Correctional Services Portfolio Committee, and that's Dennis Bloem, who also is the spokesperson of the Congress of the People. It's important that we set the context correctly. And I'm also, of course, joined by Ngalwa, our politics editor. Mr. Bloem, thank you very much for making the time to talk to us here. Firstly, talk to us about why you are here as a political party.
No, thank you very much, and good morning to the viewers, Xoli and Zbu. The reason why we are here, we are coming to protest, picket here in front of when the president, Cyril Ramaphosa, is appearing here. Why we are picketing? President Cyril Ramaphosa can't plead innocence. When he was the deputy president, when President Zuma was the president, Ramaphosa is talking about 9 wasted years. But he was part and parcel of that 9 wasted years. He was the deputy president of the ANC. He was the deputy president of government of the ANC. Now, why is it that he must blame only Zuma? All of them can't say that it is only Zuma who have looted this country. They were there. You know, Xoli, 2007, when we, Ndatelekota and some of us, resigned, we were warning them. By the way, President Cyril Ramaphosa was elected there in Polokwane, in the executive.
As an NEC member.
Oh, as an NEC member
member.
In 2007.
In 2007 at the Polokwane conference, when we were warning them to say there's big trouble coming if you are electing Zuma as the president of the ANC and of the country. But nobody wanted to listen. Look where we are now. We are vindicated as the Congress of the People. That what we have said is happening now.
Sbu, you want to pose to Mr. Bloem the element about Bosasa, because at that time he chaired the Parliament Portfolio Committee on Correctional Services.
In fact, it's an interesting one, Xoli, because in as much as he's saying that President Ramaphosa must take accountability, the question that he can actually tell us is that at the time that you chaired that very committee, there were questions around Bosasa, and them monopolizing almost all the contracts at correctional services. The question would be, both in your role as chairperson, what did you do to counter that, but also from the opposition benches as you became a COPE MP in 2009? What did you do to raise your voice against some of the wrong things that were happening, both when you were in the ANC and both from the opposition benches?
You see, Spoo, very fortunate that each and every record of meetings in Parliament is recorded electronically, and a parliamentary monitoring group. All the evidence is there that I have raised my voice as a member of the ANC then, as the chairperson. I was very vocal in public, not only in the committee, but in public.
How then, Mr. Bloem, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, how then do you respond to what the National Assembly Speaker said here a few weeks ago, that National Parliament, it would appear, didn't quite understand its role, and they have now decided, as she put it, that they were going to put through, particularly the people who lead committees, put them through some kind of training so that they are able to ask pointed questions when a minister comes to account before them?
But, Xoli, I disagree with that, because when you go into Parliament, there is rules and regulations. The executive, the Constitution is saying the executive is accountable to Parliament. Now, that is what I have done in my committee to keep Balfour was the minister. You can go into the records. I have called him now.
How vociferous were you, given that you were an ANC member, by the way, because there is this assumption, Spoo, that if you are an ANC member, but you also lead a committee in Parliament, you're likely to be lenient to these ministers, because these are your comrades.
Dictates of your caucus, basically.
Yes, it is true. You see, the biggest problem, Xoli and Spoo, in the setup there is this study group meetings of political parties, the ANC, the ruling party. You know, in those study groups, the minister comes and officials of the department is coming.
The deployees.
The deployees is coming to the study group. Now, in that study group, cold water is now being poured over everything. I did not take that nonsense. I am saying, go to the records, because I fought all the time.
It may take us the whole day.
No.
to do
I
that.
even called Trevor Manuel. Trevor Manuel is outside. Ask him, the Minister of Finance, when there were problems with this Busasa issue. I called him, and he came to the study group. It was the study group. Even to the portfolio committee, I did not take that nonsense.
But do you accept, though, that Parliament, across the party lines, was not effective in playing its oversight role over the executive?
No, I totally accept it. I totally agree that Parliament was a rubber stamp.
Including the opposition?
Including the opposition. You know, I must not qualify it 100%, because the opposition, you know, in each and every committee, the ruling party is having more members. So whatever the opposition is saying, they are being drowned. So I must not say totally the opposition was also to be blamed. They are raising things, but no, when it comes to the vote in a portfolio committee meeting, the opposition, it was 7 members of the opposition, of the ruling party, and then 5 of the opposition. So,
Mr. Bloem, let's wrap it up. Because we are out of time. When the president of the ANC comes here today, he comes in his capacity as ANC president. When he does come here, how will you accept when he says, I did not have a personal relationship with Gavin Watson and his Bosasa company. And keep in mind that his son, the president's son, Andile, had some kind of business relationship with Bosasa. Will you accept that as a member of the public and as an opposition party?
No, I will not accept it. The reason why, you remember when Popo Molefe appeared before the Zondo Commission, he said he briefed the top 6 about the problems in Prasa, in Transnet and what. This one of Bosasa, everybody was involved. They know very well what was happening. So President Cyril Ramaphosa must not come and say that, no, I don't know about this thing of Bosasa. He know about this thing. He was a senior member of the ANC. All of them. Bosasa sponsored their things.
Election campaigns.
Election campaigns.
Mr. Bloem.
Everything.
Let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. We are out of time, but thank you very much, Dennis Bloem, for making the time to talk to us here. He is here, and alongside other parties, I've already seen people wearing Democratic Alliance regalia. So that tells you that indeed political parties are going to make their presence felt here. Ayanda and Michelle, it's back to you.